Well, first dive for Chris and myself for the season together. I've already done a couple of speckies. That just looks absolutely perfect out there. It's flat, it's clean, there's no one around. Second day of winter, third day of winter. Perfect.
Well, we'd looked in a lot of our usual holes with no luck, and I finally stumbled upon this crack and it had the jackpot. I managed to pull my full bag limit of crays out of this one and call Chris over to get him started. I used my gun to mark where the crack was, so it's very easy to lose these cracks and give the lobsters a chance to escape. It's very important that once you start pulling them out, you get stuck in and take your limit out. Fortunately, it was a reasonably deep crack and the lobsters were packed right into the back and showed no inclination to walk out. I'm giving Chris the heads up to show him which crack to dive, and it doesn't take long before he's down and whipping one out himself. We now had 4 big eastern rock lobsters between us, and time to keep looking and try to find the next one. Chris went back, or I went back down to show Chris where this one that was out of reach. This was right up the front of the hole when I first saw it, but yeah, you'd need another 2 foot on your arms to get this guy out.
He's deep in there. Have a look at that right hand hole where I was, so you'll see him.
This particular hole is well known to me, and it's a double entrance hole, and if the lobsters are right in the middle you pretty much can't get them, but between the two of us, pushing backwards and forwards, managed to put that lobster into a decent position so Chris could actually grab it and get it out of the hole. Fortunately, Chris has got a lot better breath hold than I have, so he could stay down there and keep working on that lobster. You usually only get one go at it when they've moved into the wrong position as far as the lobster's concerned. Anyway, he doesn't make any mistakes and comes out with a beautiful cray.
Good work, mate. Good work. That wasn't easy. That's legal. Definitely legal.
There were a few tropical lobsters around. Most of them were a bit on the small side. Not that there's an actual size in them, but we don't like to take them when they're on the small side. Anyway, this one unfortunately had eggs on it, so of course all lobsters with eggs, you've got to let them go for the future. And that's what happened with this one.
Oh, no good.
I've thrown in a few clips here from some earlier dives that I've done this season. This was the end of May and the beginning of June, and as you can see we have beautiful conditions, lovely water. I found a nice beautiful looking cray in this crack, and When I pulled it out, I thought, oh, no problems, it's just going to go legal. It's big, but it's going to be legal. It didn't have the big petrol tanks on the side of it.
Legal.
Famous last words, and this is why you really have to measure your lobsters when they're close, like this one was. I was sure this was just under 18, but put the measurer on it, and I put it on several times to make sure, but it was about 2 or 3 mils over the 18 centimetres, and yeah, so you've got to let them go when they're like that.
Yeah.
This particular lobster I'd missed about a week and a half earlier, and I knew the exact hole that it would be sitting in, and it's just a little bit too deep if it goes right to the back of the hole, so I knew I had to jam my arm into the side to stop him getting into that back section of the cave. Sure enough, I did, and yeah, he ended up being mine.
Finally.
Here's a nice longer piece sitting in the hole. It doesn't have too much room to move. These are generally a bit easier to catch than the Hamaris lobsters, and made no mistake with this one. Here's another longer piece lobster that I'm going to have a crack at. This guy was quite far back in the crack and had a fair few places to go. I did a technique that you can sometimes get away with. I just lightly held onto the antenna, did not try to pull the lobster out, got myself in a little bit deeper into that cave and grabbed the antenna again, just held him until I could get my other hand right round and grab hold of a horn. If you pull on the antennas, they'll break off, but if you can sometimes just hold them, it gives you time to get your hand properly around the horn, and then you can pull this out. A nice big oversized lobster, beautiful purple coralline algae on its antennas, gives it an unusual colour. Anyway, I knew I was going to have to let it go, but just nice to show it. About half an hour later, I'm looking in a different hole. I see this big lobster. I think, oh, I'll go down and have a look at that. I look at it, I put my hand under, I'm about to grab it, and I look at it and go, that is the same lobster that I released about half an hour ago in a completely different crack. Anyway, I didn't bother pulling it out twice. Seem to be a lot of the tropical lobsters had eggs on them at this time of the year. It's a little bit early for us for even being catching them beginning of June, so yeah, I wasn't sure whether they would or wouldn't, but yeah, anyway, a lot of them had eggs on them. Of course, you have to let them go.
Cracking dive. Beautiful, isn't it?
Away from that surge,
Yeah. Here we are. Beautiful, mate. Lovely crays. Look at that. Good size Easterns. Here's mine. Beautiful. All going to go crazy now. One in there. Beautiful. And a big tropical soft shell. Very nice, mate. What do you reckon? How nice is that?
happy days.